Now, before the Pantera came out, Di Tomaso came out with this car, which is the Mangusta. And I guess it's supposed to be with a cobra, and a Mangusta is something that eats snakes. So here's another Di Tomaso Valenga. Anyway, so this I think is a really, really beautiful car. And but no fun to drive, I understand, and it didn't really work that well. And pretty short on development money.
Very intuitive
But
approach.
I think a really great looking machine, actually. Nice front end treatment for the lights. And these are also powered by a 351 Cleveland Ford engine. The Panteras, when they came out, were supposed to be $10,000. I'm not sure if one ever sold for $10,000, but they were supposed to be 10. And a Ferrari Dino was 10, and a Cadillac was 10. So kind of all very different cars for around $10,000 at the time. Of Maseratis. This one looks like a Maserati Indy. So they were the Ferrari was the two-seat roadster. I don't know what's going on with this wheels on this car. The Maseratis concentrated on the GT cars. So these are Boras behind us here, and they're neat with their stainless steel roofs. And this is a mid-engine supercar, Bora, and they had a relationship with Citroën at the time. So there was a bunch of really kind of funny hydraulics going in here for the brakes and so on. They're not nearly as expensive as the Ferraris. If the period Daytona is now 300, a great Bora is probably 100 or maybe a bit more, and they look awesome with the stainless steel roofs. So I think Boras are great cars here. They also made one with a similar body style, but with a six-cylinder engine called a Murak. And look at these wonderful colors. Look at this. I've never seen so many Boras before in my life. Even at the other Concorsos. This is wonderful. Every color of the rainbow. But again, I'm drawn to these period colors here. What a cool car. And just look at these seats in this thing. I mean, it's funny that the car seats aren't that different than the 70s loungy furniture as well. So I kind of like 70s stuff, 70s cars, and I think these are wonderful. It's a 4-cam, 5-liter V8 with about 300 and I think they advertised 340 horsepower. These are Ghiblis, which most Maserati fans would say are among the prettiest sports GT cars post-war. And this was a Giorgio Giugiaro when he worked for Ghia, is that right? Yeah, you can see the Ghia coach builder. So Giugiaro would have started out with Ghia and then moved to, I think he may have worked for Bertoni too at one time. But anyway, he went on his own with Ital Design and designed, among other things, the Mark I Golf and a whole bunch of intelligent city cars. And, Giugiaro, I think he even designed Pasta. So these are all Maserati Ghiblis. They're 2-seat. There's a 4.5 and a 4.7 and a 4.9, and everybody wants the 4.9. I think they called it an SS. There was a convertible version. They only made about 300 of them or so. But rakish 60s Italian GT, wonderful car. And this engine, the 4.5-liter Maserati, would have been based on the Grand Prix engine of the time. Great cars. And again, the best Ghibli around is probably 150, and so that's still less than half the price of the period Daytona. Alfa's got a very big. Go ahead, you're fine. Alfa's got a very big presence at the Concorso, second only to Ferrari, and these are some of the most original, rarest Alfas. These are Montreals, and so they would have came out with this car with a V8 engine. And debuted for the 1967 Montreal Expo. So there's a Canadian component to these. And mechanical fuel injection, 4-cam V8 engine. What's the displacement? Around 3 liters, I think, 2.5 liters maybe. And
How many liters, Jim? 2.6.
2.6 liters. Thanks. And Bertoni designed car. And I love these. I love these little eyebrows for it. But Alfas are neat. They're a little bit unloved. They're a bit difficult to keep running with the. You can see the spice mechanical fuel injection and so on. I think when they are running, they're okay, but most of these have languished, near the bottom of the collector car world, and the result, getting good ones is really tough. So most of the time, the cars aren't very good. But these two examples here look wonderful, and they just again have just tons of 70s style. You might pay $30,000-$40,000 for an excellent Alfa Romeo Montreal. But you need to be a pretty serious hobbyist to keep one on the road. But anyway, I think they're great. So these are all Alfa Giulias or Giuliettas. So these are the 50s and 60s Alfa Spider, which they made before the, I think more familiar to North Americans, the Graduate. Well, I guess they called it the Graduate later, but they came out with this style with the round tail in 1967. I guess this car here, and it was immortalized, of course, in the Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft movie, The Graduate. And if you like Alfas and haven't seen the movie, probably you have seen it, but you really want to rent the movie to see this car in action, because it makes wonderful noises and wonderful scenes in it. And here is my 1982 Alpina B7S Turbo Coupe at the Legends of the Autobahn. And fortunately, traffic being the way it is, I've just had time to get here as lots of guys are leaving. So this is the German car love-in of the Monterey weekend. So it's only its second inaugural year. So I haven't met the owner of my car yet, so I just sold it. So I'm going to see if I can find him and say hi. And here we are at the Legends of the Autobahn with my X82 B7S, number 14, and a surprise. I thought there was only one in North America, my car, but this car just surfaced, and he's at the show too. So it's kind of funny that we've got the 1/15 of the production of these cars here in California, and that fellow there is from the BMW magazine, and he's photographing this momentous occasion. Well, momentous if you're into Alpina BMWs anyway, but these cars look great together, so reunited, and there we go.